Hey everybody, my name is Suk. Welcome to Lead Guitar Workshop. Today I want to show you a cool little lick that helps work through the pentatonic shapes and has a lot of variations to it. So let's take a look at this. If we map out I'm thinking E minor, G major, pattern 1 in the open position here, pattern 2, 3, 4, 5, and again pattern 1 on the 12th fret. We often get stuck in the boxes up and down, right? That's such a pitfall of guitar players when we first start playing. So this idea uses the top 2 strings for all 5 patterns. It's kind of easy to look at, and you can manipulate this information in a lot of cool ways. So let's check it out. Down here in pattern 1, we have the open position. Right, open 3 of pattern 1. Right? That becomes pattern 2. So I think of these really as bigger and smaller shapes. Pattern 1 has 2 big shapes. I'm just playing the nut to see this spacing. That would be the same up here in the 12th fret, right? So if we see open 3, pattern 2 is 3 and 5 on both strings. Pattern 3 has what I call the Tetris place. So on the B string, it's the big shape. And on the high E string, it's the shorter shape. And that creates a staggered little piece right here. Everything up till here has been on the same fret for patterns 1 and 2. But once you hit 3, and that little staggered piece is the same place you're going to do it in pattern 4. So 4 has the shorter one on the B string and the longer one on the high E string. And that's where I call it the Tetris point between 3 and pattern 4. Pattern 5 is 2 short ones. And even pattern 1 again is back to 2 big ones. If you look at the 4 patterns, spend your time, the 5 patterns, excuse me, spend your time connecting them up and down. Even at first, maybe not doing a rhythmic thing yet, or if you do super slow, like think of each box. You can do either low to high, maybe high to low. Start with one of those 2 ideas. So let's say if we did low to high for each box, it would be like this. Pattern 1, pattern 2, 3, 4, 5, and back to pattern 1 again. If you move through them, you should try these with different timings at first, right? So if you're thinking 8th notes, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... Right? You can think of them as triplets. Right? 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... I can descend while still doing the ascending box, right? So if the box is going up still, I can move that in either direction. So we just moved it up, let's move it down. Pattern 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Musically, this is really a 4-note sequence. If you've ever done something like this, that's actually the same thing. We just run out of a little bit of room this way. But it's a great way to look at your 5 shapes. Now, the thing I did at the beginning, this lick I love, is I flip-flopped the order of each box, right? So the first box we ascended. When I went up to this pattern 2's box, I descended. So I'm staggering them. Pattern 3 goes up. Pattern 4 comes down. 5 goes up. And pattern 1 comes down. So that might sound like... You'll have to decide a little bit on the fingerings. I change my fingerings depending on what day it is, what I had for lunch, you know. As long as the right note happens at the right time, no one ever hears what finger you used. That'll never be a mistake, you know, it's absurd to think something like that. So as long as you focus on the right notes, your fingers will kind of fall, I believe, into place that makes sense for them. As long as you're thinking the notes and what you're trying to do, the hands are pretty good about following that from there. So the other last thing I did with this lick was I would slide in between. So if I ascended the box, instead of just playing the descending box on pattern 2, I slid up to create that first note of the box. And then I would slide up on the B string into pattern 3 to start the next ascending box. Slide, 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 slide. Then I did a little bend up at the end. And of course, you can vary this in any number of ways. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, doing different rhythms with them, doing different combinations of the boxes. And like I said, it's a great way to really go up and down the boxes, your pentatonic patterns, versus getting continually stuck in them. You should always ask yourself what more you can do with a lick. Never take a lick at face value. You're really shortening its use and its lifespan within you. If you say, man, that's a great lick, what else can I do with it? You may think literally on the guitar. So for instance, instead of maybe using the top 2 strings, maybe you use the G and the B strings. Right, in either direction. Maybe you skip strings. Maybe instead of doing adjacent strings, you do like the G and the E string. You know, that gets pretty out, and you can add a lot of stuff. Maybe you're adding a blue note, maybe you're adding a second note in there, like a 1/9 of the scale or something to help kind of brighten it up a bit. You can do a lot with it. And that's why I think of these ideas like devices. It's like a pathway. You can really flex a lot of the ideas in this without it being like the Jimmy Page lick from this song from that album, or this guy's lick or girl's lick from this thing. You want to be able to have, be able to flex it and do different things with it. That's why I really enjoy this part of these licks and thinking like this as you play them. And again, this has nothing to do with even how we're using an E minor or maybe a G major pentatonic. There are this scale might be for different chords and making up different sounds within that, right? So this is just how to manipulate a pentatonic scale on the guitar. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I always have a lot of fun with this. I did this years ago for Guitar World's Lick of the Day, and my students have always enjoyed this little pathway that we get to hang out on. So keep playing, have a lot of fun. Again, check out leadguitarworkshop.com. We have 5 books we've published for learning lead guitar. You can also sign up on our mailing list there. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel here. We love seeing you guys. Thanks so much, and keep playing.